Welcome back. I'm pumped, and I'm pumped for good reason. We just picked up 2019 Can-Am XRC Turbo R, 72 inches wide. This is the new toy. So for those of you guys who haven't been keeping up with me on Instagram, I do have an Arctic Cat Wildcat 1000X. And this thing is a ton of fun. My only problem with this is you can't get freaking parts for it. And so this machine is an awesome machine. It's great to drive, super stable, super easy to drive. It's just you can't get parts for this thing. And so I did blow up the rear diff on this and then rebuilt it and welded the SLD, or the shock load absorber. And now this thing is dialed in, ready to go. But I sold this here to get the Can-Am, just because this one is definitely going to be more of the platform that I want to build. Ton of aftermarket support, and yeah, I'm pumped about it. So in this video here, we're going to take her out, break it down, show you guys everything you need to know about it, what it came with, what I paid for it, and everything like that. So stay tuned. Let's dive in. Okay, first order of business here, we have the XRC here in the garage, and we are putting on this roof rack that the previous owner built, and honestly, it does not look bad at all. So I want to run this for a little bit, see how I like it. Just bolted the cage. I need to compress the bars a little bit to get it to fit properly, but it doesn't look bad. The way I plan on using this thing, I'm definitely going to be carrying a lot of gear with me. So I'm definitely going to be running the roof rack or some sort of storage system. This thing does not have as much storage as my Arctic Cat did, so definitely need to use this. Yep, I'm a super big fan of that. I don't know why. I think it's just the way it is shaped with the circles, and then how tight it hugs the roof line. I'm a super big fan of that. I think that looks pretty freaking awesome. I might throw some light pods on it. I'm thinking about that. I definitely think I'm going to do some dual Baja squadrons down here, maybe. I don't know what brand lights I'm going with quite yet. But yeah, something I'm not a big fan of. And so he used the OEM hardware, and he didn't put it back in, and then we were driving this thing without this hardware in that connects to the rear cage. So definitely going to have to work on that. I'll probably go to the power sports store and see if they have this hardware, or I can probably just find some generic hardware that'll fit. But yeah, so I mean that kind of sucks that I'm missing these bolts. They're probably somewhere here in the rig. But yeah, so this is my, let's see, just to give it a little opener, right? This is my 2019 XRC Turbo R. So this does have the DSC dual compression shocks here. This has only got 1,500 miles on it. What's kind of cool is it has the full rugged radio system in it already. RAM mount here for our Onyx off-road. Push the talk for the rugged radios. Has the rugged radios pumper system in it. And then comms already ran through. A lot of this wiring I'm going to get cleaned up myself, but it does look super slick. So I'm super pumped on this next build here. And then it's gonna go ahead and start getting it built out for a lot of the trails here in Northern California. The trails here in California are a little bit slower pace. In Northern California, I should say, are a little bit more of like a slower pace trail. A lot picking your way through the mountains here. We're gonna use this thing for a lot of deer hunting, a lot of scouting. I'm kind of pumped to have one. I mean, I had the Arctic Cat, which I can show you guys outside. Arctic Cat Wildcat X, and the only problem with that thing is just parts availability. So there's a ton of parts for these, ton of aftermarket support, and I'm actually really pumped to get started. Okay, diving into the wiring part of this rig, I like to rewire or go through a lot of the wires when I get a new rig, basically because I need to know how this is all put together, so if I ever need to troubleshoot it while I'm out, I know how it's all working. So this is actually pretty simple so far. There's this cable here that wraps around and goes down, and this cable actually wraps around and goes to the center antenna. I don't know what kind of clips those are, but those are super nice. And whoever did that properly, routed it nice and super nice and clean. Here there is the comms antenna that you plug into your helmet, and that kind of just wraps around the cage and follows down. Now I don't know why one would not run that with the antenna cable next to each other. I don't know if there's a rule against that or whatever. It is what it is. Next we have power, which is the braided cable in, and that goes up, over, through here, and then to the rugged radio pumper system for the driver's side. And then so it is fused right here, and then it has the 3-pin out for variable control, so you have 12 volt going in, variable control going out. It comes down and then shoots across to the pumper system. There's this bundle of wire here that was kind of just over there. I don't know what to do with it, so I just zip tied it up and put it right there. I could make it shorter, but at the end of the day, I kind of want to get the SB filter that sits right here. So I don't know if that pumper is going to live right there or not. It might go somewhere else. So I can't touch any of that yet because I'm just a little unsure of what I'm going to do. Also, I noticed that I don't have the variable speed for the passenger side. So I'm going to have to purchase that controller unit for the passenger side and install it, or I will have to I will either have to purchase it, or maybe I might find it somewhere in here, but it's not installed currently, so definitely gonna have to look at that. I'm not a big fan of the zip ties on the cage either. I mean, I don't think there's a way of getting around that, but if I could, you know, if there's a different solution, let me know. Okay, so next I got to get the tube back on the driver's side pumper, and I'm just gonna go through all the pockets before I move to the passenger side. Yep, on this side of the rig too, there's barely anything. Nothing in the pouches. Actually really clean. He put the passenger push to talk on there. I do have an M1, rugged M1 coming, so we'll get rid of this RM old one and put a rugged M1 in it. Hopefully I don't need to modify too much to get it to fit. He has the rugged radios plumbed into here, which is fine. I'm actually, you know, just picking things apart, learning about the machine. My brake fluid's in here, learning about the machine. So again, if I have any issues with it, I kind of know where everything is. The battery's behind here. He has these ran as jumper cables, so he can either remote jump people with extended jumper cables, or he can charge or jump himself. So this part is that's actually pretty smart too, to have these here. I might want to put a fuse or a breaker on these, you know, because that's some pretty thick wire. I might sleeve them also to get a cleaner look. But this guy is just like me in the way of he was very thorough in building and taking care of his equipment, and it shows. And the thing is I'm very thorough, and so there's really not a lot for me to do here, and I'm actually really grateful for that, because then I'll actually get to move on to building the thing. So I'm grateful. It's not exactly the way I would do things personally. I'm gonna throw an aux beam in here for lighting control, so we're gonna add some lighting. I guess I don't need to put the pumper system on the aux beam, and the radios are already individual. I don't think I'm going to touch anything that's currently working. I think I'm going to add my aux beam and go from there. I'm not going to touch anything that's currently working. So it's an interesting concept. It's interesting to adopt something like this and to not have to fix or change a lot of the things that people have done before. I mean, I've bought in a lot of projects like this, and typically you got to go through it and like make your own changes and do what you need to do. But this one is actually pretty freaking dialed in. It's mostly stock, but he was very purposeful on the things he did change, and I am very grateful for that. So yeah, kind of pumped on this. Kind of freaking pumped on this. So I'm gonna maybe look for a place to mount an aux beam, I guess. I mean, there's really nothing else for me to touch in here. Kind of want to go use it. but we have a couple weeks before we go do that. Okay, so sitting in the cockpit now, there's kind of two options. So this aux beam is a 6-gang. Let me take the cover off of it. This cover just makes it waterproof. 6-gang linear, so it's not a like a 2x3 pack. It's just a 6-pack, which is 1 through 6. I have a few options. This is really full over here already, especially once the iPad is going to be mounted right here. I mean, that's going to be right there for nav. So yeah, this area is already full. So option 1 is I can take off the back bracket and I can mount it up here on the cage, if you can tell, and go flat to this, just some double-sided tape, and go to that. That is pretty legit. I mean, you would have to reach up and hit it. Or my other option here is if I put it right here, and then that's kind of nice because then you can kind of hold it and hit your 1, 2, 3, 4 and go right there. I think I'm leaning towards this. I might even take off the bracket and go flat against it, just to make it more of a slick look. Actually, I kind of like the bracket because it leans it towards you. You can change the modes and all that. So I'm kind of leaning towards this. It doesn't really make sense anywhere else. I can't put it down there near my knees. It doesn't really fit anywhere over here. This is actually one of those reasons where if I had the 2x3, it would have fit perfectly right there on its bracket. But it doesn't really, I mean, I could maybe go right here, but then, you know, it's gonna kind of interfere with other things there. Actually, I might take off the bracket and try that. That's actually a really clean look if I can get it to fit in there like that and have it not interfere with any of those buttons. I'll give that a shot. Might give this a shot. You know, it's only going to be double-sided tape, so I can always move it later, but I'm trying to be really methodical with this one, so I don't have to move it later. So let me get this bracket off and we'll take a look here. But yeah, this thing's looking pretty clean. Pretty clean. I definitely need to go spend some more seat time in this thing for sure. And I need to add some dome lighting. I'm probably gonna put some, I have some Harbor Freight dome lighting. Probably gonna add some of that, get that all wired up, because it'll be nice to be able to see on the inside of this thing. Okay, got the bracket taken off. This is kind of cool, but I feel like this makes it really busy. I mean, this is like the most practical spot for it because it's radio, bumper, like everything is in your center console, and this makes a lot of sense because most of your controls are right here. You know, so you could, that's cool. But it makes it look really busy. It doesn't fit too flush, and I don't think it has a good flow to it. It definitely doesn't look like it's meant to be there. This is not gonna make sense at all. This doesn't even sit flush up here. Like, this doesn't make any sense. This, I could go flat mount here, which is pretty cool, but it makes it really awkward to hit the buttons. Whereas like when it was on the bracket and you can kind of grab it and then hit it with your thumb, that kind of makes it a little bit more intuitive to do while you're driving. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm trying to make this so I don't have to look at it. When I had an aux beam in my Tacoma, it was mounted down like kind of where my knee is, and you can hit the buttons. You would kind of have to look at it. This one kind of makes it so you don't have to look, and you'll have a little bit of more muscle memory with this. So put the bracket on, clean this, and then get that one stuck down with some double-sided tape. Okay, I don't know if you can see it. I got the aux beam mounted over there, and now we're looking at mounting the control board to it, control board part of it, and the battery is back here. And I actually thought of something pretty smart that I'll be actually really happy with. Is I'm gonna mount the control board right here. Then there's the positive and negative leads and the breaker that come off of it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna slap one of these Anderson 50 amp connections on the aux beam. So basically just cut these and rewire it. And then I will be able to, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna snip the zip tie, move this whole lead down, and tuck it in maybe right here or something, or tuck it in down here, and then plug the aux beam into that. And then that'll really simplify the wiring. 1, 2, I can disconnect that, or I can use these to jump people still. It'll just be an optional plug. I don't have to get all the way down there to mess with the wiring, and then it'll just be pretty clean. I mean, because if I ever need to jump anyone or ever need to charge it, I can just unplug the aux beam, and that is, I don't have to touch any of that. It's all working. It all looks half decent down there. I don't see a fuse block, so I think what I'll probably get down there one day and put a fuse block in. But yeah, I don't want to, I have to remove the seat and all that, and I don't want to do that right now. I just want to get the systems up and running and get some lights going. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And plus, I don't like this thing being out exposed too. This kind of looks, I mean, everything looks pretty okay, but this one looks kind of a little bit out of place and kind of dumb. So definitely going to deal with this one. Sweet. Okay. That's quite a bit of work to get that all straightened up. Got the aux beam mounted right here, got the cables tied up top, and then I don't know if you can tell, so I can still get to the breaker panel, and I got the wire ran. So now the panel has a nice green light on it, and then for whatever reason, if I need to, I could disconnect this harness right here, give people a jump start, or charge the battery on the car. Yeah, so I have a 60 amp breaker right here, and I'm probably gonna put another fuse down there just in case. But that is awesome. Super into that. Looks pretty good. Again, I would like to sleeve these cables, but I'm gonna leave that mission for another day. I need to figure out how I'm gonna change that color over there to match the color of the cage. And then we need to run a dome light. I don't know how much time. It's only 11:15, so I think I'm gonna keep tinkering here, see how far I get. Okay, got the aux beam all wired up. Was able to change the backlight color to match the cage. Looks pretty sick. We got our first accessory lined up. So we got a GoFlux lighting dome light here. I mean, this isn't really a dome light, it's just one of their RGB sticks, but what's really nice is it does white, red, and then amber. And then also what's cool is it is full dimming, so we can dim it all the way down. Now what's really nice about these LEDs is the fact that you can kill the power to it, but then when you bring it back up, it remembers where you are. So kill the power, turn it back on, and it remembers. And then it remembers both the color and the brightness. So not all LED strips are made the same. So that's specifically why I really enjoy these ones. Kill the power. So we're gonna wrap that up for today. This is what we're getting done. And yeah, I'll post this one up as a vlog. Like I said, I'll probably do a lot more of these, just kind of documenting what I'm doing to this thing. So guys, thanks for hanging out. We will pick this up in the next one.